how would you characterise the balance of risks overall, given all this uncertainty, especially with the geopolitical position, and how does that play into markets and the macro, in your opinion?
Yeah, sure. So there's a lot more risk than we've been used to for quite a period of time. I think from where we sit in Australia and New Zealand, though, what's really important is that the starting point is so strong. So many of our households, and it's sort of forgotten, households in Australia and New Zealand have actually never been stronger in terms of their balance sheets, and that's also true in business. So despite the fact that people are a little bit wobbly about the future and concerns about all sorts of things, they're sitting on a really great starting point, and that means that people are still spending, they're still out there investing, etc. So I think Australia and New Zealand may be a little bit unusual and not great indicators for the rest of the world, but certainly from our perspective, things look pretty robust still.
Maybe outliers at the same time, though, Shayne. I mean, I think we're obliged to ask you as a business leader, right? One of the leader of one of the big three banks in Australia. What do you make of the tragic happenings over the last 48 hours in Israel, in Gaza, etc.? What potentially could it mean for your business, let's say?
Well, it is a tragic thing, and for myself personally, I lived in Egypt for 6 years. I've lived in the Middle East twice, so obviously have connections to that part of the world. It's a tragedy to see what's happening there, and particularly on the back of what's happening in the Ukraine. I mean, we went through a period of time some years ago where we all became used to a sort of a benign geopolitical world, and now, wow, how quickly that's dissipated. And we're back into this sort of tragic situation. And I think these things, generally the problem with these issues, I mean, obviously moving away from the personal tragedy, but from a market's perspective, they're sort of additive. So we've already got stress in the world because of the Ukraine.
This is not helping.
This is absolutely, and it's sort of like the impact isn't linear, it's geometric. You add to this thing and then who knows where this is going to go and what the implications will be. But I imagine, everybody's going to be on high alert.
So if this is polycrisis, Shayne, then does this spell a stagflationary environment, in your opinion? And how to what degree is that going to complicate what happens next with the global central banks?
The thing we notice, I mean, oil, yes, has jumped, right? But we're still well off year highs of 95 on Brent about a week ago. If this situation, though, goes across Gaza's borders, involves other actors as well, people have been talking about Iran potentially, Russia potentially as well, then oil must explode higher, and then what?
So we're sitting in an uncharted territory here. So the world is in a delicate situation. It already was. We were already in a delicate situation prior to this tragedy, thinking about what was happening in terms of cost of living, inflation, energy prices, all of these things. And now we've just sort of thrown petrol onto the fire, excuse the sort of pun there, but that's exactly the risk that we have. So who knows what's going to happen in Gaza, but right now it can't end up well. You'd have to say the risk premium has gone up. You'd have to expect more people, businesses, households, consumers, big companies, small companies, will be more inclined to sit on their hands rather than make decisions at a time like this. So, people will be prudent and cautious, and that will have implications all around the world.
Can we really say, then, that we have seen the top in terms of yields in the rates market?
Again, I don't think so. There will be lots of debate about that from all sorts of people. My personal view is no. I still think, again, and talking closer to home in the south, in Southeast Asia and certainly in Australia and New Zealand, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think we have seen the top. I think the reality is that cost of living pressures are still there. The oil price looms as a new risk on the horizon. Yes, the reserve banks have done a good job, and the trend on inflation is down, but it's still high. And, it's still, remarkably high and quite a bit above the targeted rate. So I understand why reserve banks are taking a break and just to see what will happen. But if you call it today, I think there's more chances of further rises than not.
Hi, I'm Emily Tan, and thanks for watching CNBC. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks for watching.